Sunday morning, calling in. Well, the Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. To me, he's always the Speaker. Well, Newt, you had a great meeting with the President on Thursday. You had the Correspondents' Dinner on Friday. Well, let's talk about what's going on in our country. The big vote. There's the Democrats claim, well, can they win without cheating?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, I think two of the most interesting things, and I wrote about this at Gingrich 360, you've got New Jersey, where the governor has had to announce that they've already found at least 6,600 people who were registered to vote who are not U.S. citizens. This, of course, is after telling all of us that this didn't really exist. It wasn't really a problem. And I saw Mark Wayne Mullins, who's the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and he said he thinks they're going to be very embarrassed because he thinks there are actually going to be more than 30,000 people that were registered who are not American citizens. Now, what makes it doubly funny to me, and some of the folks who are listening to us probably saw this on the internet, the Olive Garden has a special this year where for $600 you can buy all the pasta you can eat for the year. So you can literally go back to Olive Garden again and again. But to do that, you have to have a photo ID. So in 50 states, you can go to Olive Garden and you can, if you've bought this package, and you can get your pizza or you can get your pasta if you have a photo ID. So here are the Democrats who are against a photo ID for voting when the photo ID is now so common that even Olive Garden is using it as a way of handling their sales promotion. And it makes me wonder, John, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but why are the Democrats so opposed to being able to identify who votes? And why are they so opposed to a federal bill that says you have to be an American citizen to vote? I mean, what is there with Schumer and with the Democratic leadership that they are just deeply opposed to two simple requirements? You have to be an American citizen, and you have to be able to prove who you are with a photo ID. It's amazing to me how hard they're fighting against this.
Well, Democratic voters themselves have voted, polled at least 70%, 75% that they're willing to use voter ID. It's the leadership of the Democratic Party that's afraid of losing.
Well, but that's we see this again and again. The American people, including most Democrats, on a whole range of issues, are on one side, and the Democratic leadership is basically anti-American. Again and again, if you have an 85-15 issue, the Republicans and independents and most Democrats will be for the issue, and 15% will be against it, and that 15% will include all the Democratic leadership. It's really a comment on how much out of touch they are with the American people.
I agree with you 110% on that. The fact is, Biden. We both know Biden from 20 years ago, 30 years ago. The President Biden that we knew in the White House was not the Biden we knew. So who was really running the White House, Mr. Speaker?
Well, I've always assumed that Barack Obama's team was really the people behind the scenes all came up through Barack Obama. And that if you really looked at, who decided on pardons, who decided on policy, it was clearly not Joe Biden. And I agree with you. I negotiated with Biden in the 80s. I mean, I knew him as a senator. I knew him when he was chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. He had just simply gotten to a point where he wasn't there anymore. He was the guy we knew has aged out and simply was incapable of running the government.
That's why I'm not going to blame Joe Biden, but the FBI or whoever the powers may be should find out who was in charge, because somebody deserves to go to jail.
Well, I agree with you that the American people deserve to know for 4 long years who was in the room making the decisions. Now, it could be that it was Joe Biden, because if you go back and you look, for example, when Woodrow Wilson had a stroke, his wife basically ran the government for about a year right after World War One. I mean, he literally was incapacitated, and they wouldn't let anybody in the room except the doctor and his wife, and she basically made all the major decisions. An amazing period.
I think Jill wanted to preserve her position as First Lady and use the corporate jet. I really think that other people were in charge. We'll find out, Mr. Speaker, we'll find out someday.
That's right. That's exactly. History will catch up with him.
Thank you so much for coming on this Sunday morning, and God bless you, God bless America, and thank you for continuing to speak out for our country.
Great. Take care.